Okay, welcome back to the Pedals and Pulse blog. We're going to watch or review my attempt at Zwift Games Stage 2 here today. As I mentioned in the last episode, I have a gravel race that I'm training for in September. So as much as I love the Zwift racing, I do need to do some stuff that's a little bit longer, a little bit harder, trying to increase that threshold. I had a good result in Zwift Games 1, managed to win the stage in a sprint. As you can see by the phenotype graph, I got quite decent 1 minute and 15-second times, so I'm always happy to wait in the group. Looking at the Hudson Hustle again, it's a relatively flat course. It's a little bit lumpy-bumpy at the start, but nothing particularly stressful. I felt relatively good again today, so I didn't have a direct strategy, but I thought I'm just going to hang on till the end and again try and nick it in a sprint. We had about 60 people in this cohort racing today. I think it was again the 570 race score slot, and I'm sitting about 520 on the race score at the moment, so somewhat middle of the pack. It started fairly fast. You can see the first minute we're doing 280 watts. It's about threshold for me, and there are various points throughout the start where I had to push 4 watts a kilo just to hang on to the back. So coming onto the first little lump here, a 1 to 2% drag, nothing particularly drastic. We can see obviously some of the diesel engines at the front just trying to push that big power and try and get things strung out, put some hurt in people's legs early. And again, just a little bit of a demonstration as to how good the legs are feeling for me, was able to just sit in and make time up the pack. Not using the feather power up, just able to push 4.5 watts per kilogram sitting in the draft. Then towards the top of the climb, I even managed to find myself off the front. I don't really like sticking my nose in the wind, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a waste of energy, but I do like to carry speed over these little red lumps and bumps. They tend to completely sap your speed if you're not on the power. So I just thought I'd carry it through, get over that 10% part, and chill out on the downhill. So up at 300 watts for the first 3.5 minutes. As mentioned, it was a fairly punchy start. But for the most part of this course, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. Nothing's really long enough to string you out, so you've got plenty of time to recover, especially in a big group like this. You can see the long minus 1 to 2% sort of downhill at this point. Plenty of time to recover. You can see the heart rate coming down there, sitting in zone 3. I'm going to try and complete the whole range of Zwift games this time around. On previous attempts I have broke my turbo trainer or got waylaid by toddler germs. But even though some of the racing hasn't proved that beneficial recently, I'm going to try and complete those games as part of my own training. You can see now coming down this descent into the second lumps and bumps, I managed to bring the heart rate right down to 160. So fairly comfortable doing 60 kilometers an hour as you approach the first bump. If you time this right and you're back in the group, you could just get drafted at the front, drafted right over it. See, I'm doing about 3.7 watts per kilogram there. It doesn't look like anyone's really pushing the power either at this point. You know, I see a couple of guys going off the front of the group gets a little bit pointy, and I have to jump to 5 watts per kilogram, and still even then just struggle to hold the wheel. But we're actually at the top now, so nobody's really going anywhere across the top in third position.
Over the longer stretch, a lot of riders were dropped. Again, since this is a relatively short segment, the key here is to not panic. Just race your own race and stay consistent with your power. I actually peaked a little early here and ended up on the front. is where I found very little VO2 max benefit recently. Even though the course looks lumpy at the start, the pack is usually too big to break. We had a long cruising descent, followed by essentially 10 kilometers of flat road. Plenty of time to recover. The elevators, those short, sharp kicks, are never going to break up a race with a group this large. We are into the end game of the stage now. A concerted effort here could split the group in favour of the bigger riders with higher raw wattage, so you have to watch the front closely. However, today no real moves went, and once again I found myself sitting on the front. Subsequently, I demonstrated just how weak my 5-second and 20-second sprints are. I tried to work, but I couldn't even bridge to the very front. Pushing 4 watts per kilo really burnt my legs. We managed to get a small gap, but I knew I couldn't sustain it. I was lured in by the chance of a stage win, so I turned down the chance to stay in the break. With 2 kilometers to go, the pace was high. I was holding 350 watts just to stay in the group. Some moves were starting to go, but I didn't feel like anyone had the punch to truly get away. We did get a small split, and in a show of strength, I managed to shut the gap. Once I was there, I was stuck. With 400 meters out, I had to go. I did okay, I caught the last guy, then blew up, then tried to find one last push for the final 150 meters. And then, the Wi-Fi drop of death hit me. Regardless, I was still at the pointy end of the race. I managed to close a late break and contest the sprint, showing good Category B form. However, I have bigger things to aim for, and I need to start pushing my threshold for longer durations. Anyway, this one today.